What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. I'm here once again doing my thing, basically doing this thing, which is one of my things for sure. So some of you guys might know I've been doing a research project on single parent homes and children of single parent homes, and like how their lives are different than children who grew up with both parents in the home. And I did a survey. This is all an assignment in school in psychology, and I love this assignment, and I'm trying to make the most of it. I'm trying to make a difference in the world with this research, and I know I will. It's going to make such a difference. Having this research is going to it's already made a big difference in me. It's been very supporting of me, and it's been very supportive for me, is what I mean to say. And very reassuring, very validating, I'm just super thankful. I'm sad that things are as bad as they are for people, because they are, and they were, and they're not still that bad sometimes, but that pain still exists sometimes, and people have been through some really hard things, and I'm sad that these horrible things happened, but because I'm trying to fight and make a difference for people who've been through these experiences, I'm glad that the data supports the truth. I surveyed 10 people, and 4 out of 10 people grew up in a single parent home, in one way or another, whether their parents died, one of their parents died, whether their parents got divorced or what, but that's 4 out of 10 people out of the 10 that I surveyed. And it's funny because I'm taking a statistics class right now too, so I have a lot of other statistical thoughts. I wish they were a lot clearer than they are, but so 6 out of 10 people I surveyed grew up with both parents in the home. And I made this category, or I made something that people in single parent homes experience. People experience these. Everybody experiences adverse conditions. Adverse conditions are just, they're things that happen that they're not ideal. But not only are they not ideal, they are, and they can be really horrible things that people experience, like the death of a parent, or divorce, or abuse, violence, sexual abuse, alcoholism, things like that, all kinds of things like that, And so I made this, on the survey I asked the question, have you ever experienced any of these things? And I listed a whole bunch of adverse conditions, and people answered, and only a few had never experienced any adverse conditions. Only like 1 or 2 didn't have any at all, pretty much. So in other words, most people had experienced some adverse conditions. And what I realized, of course, is that some are worse than others. And so I ranked them. And I have a tier system, and each tier has points based on a point system. So I have 5 categories. 5 categories, and they all have a point. Each category has a value system assigned to it. So there are no ones. I don't have any ones on the system. I just have twos. So I have twos, threes, fours, and fives. 6 is something I did not go into detail with. I didn't want to go into that realm because it's just not necessary. Not necessary for this study. 6 represents a category of adverse conditions that I don't want to get into. So in the bottom, I'm talking about some of the worst stuff that you can imagine, right? And so I'm not going to get into that category. Most people don't get into that category. And I have a pretty strong threshold. I have a pretty wide open threshold. I've been through some serious stuff growing up and different things, but there are some really horrible things that people go through. And a 6 is just unimaginable. It's like a tornado scale, right? If you've been through an F5 tornado, what? 5 is that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Unbelievable. Life-changing. Unbelievable. And so an F6, what? You can't even comprehend an F6. That's the point. So the 6 category is not even something that I spend time thinking about or exploring, because it's not even on the regular scale, really. It's too horrible to even ask about, basically. Unfortunately. And so that's not where I'm going with this. I'm not on that level yet. And there's a girl, or lady, she's not a young girl, but she's an escapist, or she escaped North Korea. I can't remember her name, but she's so awesome. And anyway, some of the stuff that she experienced was a 6. She experienced 6s. And 6s happen. So just to go through the scale so you know what I'm talking about here. So 2, on the scale of 2 to 6, and my results were only 2 to 5. I really asked about 2 to 5. So mine is only 2 to 5. 2 is, and I'm just doing this from memory, so 2 is considered moderate. Moderate adverse conditions that I have are trouble making friends, trouble with schoolwork, and financial hardships. 3 is, sorry, this is intense, it goes from bad to worse. 3 is harmful. So 2 is moderate, 3 is harmful. 3 is yelling in arguments, like you see your parents yelling and arguing all the time, or just, I'm trying to think of the other ones in 3. 3 is also being left alone as a child, being left alone somewhere, forgotten, just left alone. I know someone who's experienced that, and I know how bad that can be to a certain extent. And so there might be a few more in 3, but we're going to go ahead to 4 right now. I'm not going to pull my notebook while I'm driving, but 4, so 2 is moderate, 3 is harmful, 4 is severe. Severe adverse conditions in the category of 4 are exposure to addiction, exposure to alcoholism, drugs, abuse. Now, this is not necessarily every kind of abuse. This is just certain abuse, because the next category claims some of that abuse as its own. So this is basically like mental abuse, psychological abuse, which I actually think I'm going to change my system. I think I'm going to revamp the system. If you've been abused, I'm going to bump it up. That's what I'm thinking. Because these are just as bad, basically. But anyway, the way I did it was like that. And divorce. Divorce is a severe adverse condition. And then 5 is horrific. So it goes moderate, harmful, severe, horrific. Horrific is death of a parent, violence, sexual abuse. But I'm gonna change that to include. No, I don't think I'm going to, because people use the word abuse lightly. Sometimes this is gonna sound, I don't know, maybe critical or contradictory of me. But I want to keep these sections intact for a reason, separate for a reason. Like abuse is, like I said, abuse is severe. If you have experienced abuse, you have experienced a severe adverse condition. But maybe I'll change the language. I might need to revamp this a little bit because I'm not happy with it so far. Not, especially after going over it with you guys right now, I'm not happy with it quite. So we're gonna have to figure out some more stuff. Yeah. But let's see. Yeah, so horrific. Horrific is sexual abuse, death of a parent, violence. But violence includes physical abuse, and sexual abuse and violence includes rape. And incest is sexual abuse. So there's just some really horrible things that people have experienced, unfortunately. To talk about all these things right now, it's, and it's just, the point of this is to draw attention to people who have experienced these kinds of things. I don't want to draw too much attention to them, because the truth is, if you bring a lot of horrible things that people have been through to the forefront or to the light, sometimes it's too harsh. Sometimes it's not fun to have that attention. Sometimes it's too much. So what I want to do is I kind of want to just bring attention to the fact that people experience these things. And by doing that, I want to help people have more consideration, thought, or empathy towards people who've been through these kinds of things, because a lot of people have more and more. I think it increases all the time, unfortunately. Single parent homes increase all the time, unfortunately. It's more prevalent. Anyway, this is all going on, and I just wanted to share some of the stuff about my research project with you guys, because it's awesome. And yeah, so I love you guys, and thank you guys for participating in my study. I asked some preliminary questions, and I thank you guys for answering them, my friends out there, Danielle and Brian. And I got all my data in that I need. I had some confusing data I had to kind of try to make sense of, because like one person in the having both parents in the home category experienced some really horrible things too. So it's not to say that just because you have both parents doesn't mean that you are not going to have horrible experiences, because you can definitely have horrible experiences. This person marked, sexual abuse, drugs, and violence. And so that it doesn't matter if you don't have to just have one parent in order to experience these bad things, Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I can't make these videos as good when I'm driving as when I'm not, so thank you guys. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you all later.